Hi guys, I'm here with Jasmine from Manifest a Specific Person Effortlessly. I am so excited. Yeah, we're doing a collab. Hi Jasmine.
Hey, so guys, I just want to say first that Amanda is so fun and we have been having a blast nerding out and just talking about manifesting and law of attraction. And I wanted to ask Amanda about a little bit more about like affirmations and assumptions. And one of the questions that I had for her had to do with like affirmations and assumptions that actually work for you and manifest versus the ones that don't in your own experience.
I am big on affirmations, assumptions, and intentions because our thoughts do create. Now, when it comes to your affirmations and assumptions, the reason why some actually do manifest and some don't manifest is because of all the other thoughts that we have, the blocks and resistance that get in the way. So it's not just one affirmation or intention that's going to end up creating something to manifest. It's a sum total of all of your thoughts, and you're going to want more thoughts towards what you want than what you don't want. So Neville calls it living from the end. Okay, so living in the end is just imagining the person there, imagining what your life is like, and then creating an intention or two that they want to be with you, they want to be with you. And that isn't actually living from the end. Living from the end is taking the stance of, if I was with the person, what would my thoughts be? If I
completely 100% embodying that state of being as if it was real all the time. So I was kind of hearing like mental diet in there too.
Yeah, exactly. So for instance, a really good example of this is, if I was a billionaire, what would my thoughts be? So if I was a billionaire and a bill showed up in the mail, I wouldn't be freaking out and getting anxiety over my credit card bill. I would be like, I can pay this, no problem, right? So living from the end is very much focusing all your thoughts on that end result. So for instance, a really common one in relationships is, okay, well, I want to go out with him Friday night. He says that we're going to go out Friday night. But then all of a sudden, from like Wednesday when he said it till Friday, we keep thinking, oh, he's going to disappoint us. He's going to disappoint us. He's going to disappoint us.
Or now, you're afraid, or you're not sure, or
exactly.
Yeah, what if he doesn't?
And that doubt is going to block any sort of affirmation that they want to be with you. It's also going to block going out on Friday night. And it's also not living from the end of going out on Friday night. So from Wednesday to Friday, if we're living from the end of going out on Friday night, it's going to be like, oh, we're going out Friday night. It's totally going to happen. We're going to go do this. It's going to be a great time. Hey, Sue, me and Joe are going out on Friday night.
There's no oppositional thought that comes up.
Well, even if oppositional thoughts do come up, it's about catching them and changing them into a positive intention. Because what happens is when we first start assuming something, what'll happen is, okay, so I assume that Jerry wants to be in a relationship with me, okay? So what ends up happening is Jerry ends up showing up once a week. Hey, let's go for a date. And it's twice a week. And then what happens is as that starts happening, I start thinking, oh, this guy does want to be with me. And then all of a sudden he's there every day. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you never leave. Why don't you just move in with me? Hey, we get along. Why don't we get engaged and get married? So, when it comes to creating a unique, persistent assumption, and everything that you do has to be assuming that it's going to be your end result, right? So if that you want to have a relationship.
Living from the security of the end result, and how would I feel if I already had this? It wouldn't be a big deal, and I would feel totally calm and peaceful, and I would feel totally cool about it, right?
And a big part of it is defining what your end result is. Okay, so end result with Jerry is to be in a committed relationship. But what does that include? Well, that includes trusting him. That includes, him being, a person with integrity that keeps his word, and defining what all those things are, right? Because if we say, well, look, you know what, I intend to be in a relationship with Jerry, but then all of a sudden I don't trust him. Now that thought isn't living from the end of the relationship, but we can only really see what is a block in relation to what we want. Now, if you want to be in a relationship with Jerry, but you don't want to trust him, then not trusting him is living in that end, right? So we really got to define clearly what our end result is. What does that committed relationship really look like? And until we have that, we won't know what a block is or what thoughts to catch, right? So you can still have doubts, right? Because as he starts coming over more, calling more, seeing you more, those doubts are going to start to fade away, right? And it's a building process, like nobody ever like shows up to your door. And if it happened, please let me know, in like a white tuxedo with a rose in his mouth on a white horse. And it's like, I want to marry you. I didn't know who you were. I just got this thought transmission. And I needed to come here and marry you. That's just not how it happens. Like that, that's not how it plays out in the 3D world, right? People, they things go gradually because you're creating it every step of the way. Right?
Yeah. So for someone who has been intending something and it hasn't happened, so you would say that they just need to brush up more on their mental diet and work on turning around the affirmations and just kind of being like more aware. But wouldn't you say that also that kind of, when you have a very clear intention of what you want, where you take the time to define it, to really feel it out and be clear on it and honest with yourself, don't those kind of intentions kind of unfold naturally and it just progresses kind of naturally as long as you are being persistent?
Exactly. And you know what? It's a block to say, I'm intending this and it's not showing up. That thought right there has to be changed to, it is showing up. This is working. Because at the base of it all, you're not waiting for someone else to change. You're having to change. So people say, well, I'm waiting for him to change. I'm sick of waiting. I just want it to happen now. Well, the question is what are you waiting for? You're the only person that needs to change. Once you shift into that mindset that this person wants to be with you, and you do that through intentions and mental diet and creating this whole entire, all these things that you want, all the manifestations in between, then guess what? You'll be there. So, when you start questioning, I'm doing this, but it's not showing up, that is not thinking positive. We've got to be thoughts.
Yeah, you're not, it's showing you that you're still not believing in it. The problem is not that it's not happening. The problem is that you're still not believing in it. You're still not believing in it. And I think it's really important for people to know that this really does happen this way, and it really is pretty easy. And you and I, we both have similar stories as far as like my specific person that I'm with right now is 100% totally, almost completely different from when I met him. I mean, to the point, I think that you had a video on, how much can you change about your specific person? Can you change their religion? Can you change their job? Well, I did change his religion, his job, and even his physical appearance. I mean, something I can't mention, but I mean, everything is completely different about him. And,
renovation.
The first day that I met him, he said to me, I don't trust love. And I laughed and said, spend one day with me. And I just knew it. I knew it, that if he, just spent one day with me, that would be it. And ever since then, I just kept intending and assuming, or not even intending as much. Honestly, a lot of it was not intentional, but I just kept assuming, yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah, whatever. And just basically living as if I was satisfied. Yeah. And completely different.
You nailed it though. Like, intentions are assumptions. Okay. So like, it's not even just intentions. Intentions are assumptions. Affirmations are intentions, they are assumptions. At the very basic level, it's just thoughts. And the question is when you have a thought, do you want that to show up in your reality or don't you? And you nailed it. It's about assuming this guy wants to be with me. This guy's going to spend one night with me and want to be with me, or one day and want to be with me. He's never going to leave me. And it's about assuming that you're the best person and they're going to absolutely fall head over heels for you. There's 3 components to manifesting somebody: the belief in yourself and confidence in yourself, confidence in basically just being positive in the process of, this is going to work. It always works out. They are going to come around. They are going to
know about yourself.
Yeah. And then also about the other person. I mean, you've got to create them to want to like you, to want to be with you. you know, and, you know, it's crazy. You know, I remember one day I just said out of the blue to somebody in passing, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, Andrew's never going to leave me. And then sure enough, like a week later, you know, we're having this conversation at this dinner table, and he was like, we were joking back and forth, and then he says, and I'm never going to leave you. And I was like, what
I will never leave you.
I'm like, what did you say? He's like, I'm never going to leave you. I'm like, I knew that. And I'm like, because I created it. But, you know, it's because, you know, we have that thought, and we create that, you know, rather than questioning, you know. So yeah, very good assumption. Assume people want to be with you. Assume they like you.
I find that, you know, I've made a differentiation between the beliefs about myself and the beliefs about other, but I'm kind of finding now that like the beliefs about yourself create all the other beliefs. Like, you know, it's kind of automatic. So if you just work on a very strong dominant belief that you have about yourself, like I had a belief, you know, if you spend one day with me, like that's it, you're going to be in love. And that just put into place, like knowing how he was going to react automatically. So it's so simple, and it really does work.
Well, you did both, you guys, in that sentence. You said, spend one day with me and you're going to want to be with me. So you did you guys.
I did. And it was automatic with the first part.
Yeah. Yeah, you did both of them, you know. So again, you bring up a really good point. No questioning what people think about you. You start creating what people think about you, especially if people out there are experiencing anxiety. Anxiety comes from worry. And if you're experiencing anxiety about what people think about you, start creating it, you know, start creating the outcome, you know. So yeah, so we're going to continue this conversation on Jasmine's channel. So join us there. The link is in the description below as well. It'll be at the end of this video. So we'll see you guys over there.
Thanks, guys.